Police are rushing to a casino in Leicester, England. Distressed staff have called them to report an international casino cheat. However, when they arrive, staff explain they don't know how he's doing it. He's about to collect £10,000 worth of winnings. But something doesn't add up. This American man only registered with the casino 2 days ago. He doesn't have any ID, and the dealer from his table says there's a buzzing noise when he plays. Imagine creating a way of systematically cheating the casino out of hundreds of thousands of dollars per month without anyone noticing a thing. This is the story of the man who did exactly that. 7, 8, 9, and he's done it. It's 1975, and a fresh-faced youngster has just been initiated into a secretive group of card counters. Having run away from home at age 16 with just $50 in his pocket, Daryl's purpose is loving life. Months of repetitive practice and reading Ed Forbes beat the dealer have finally paid off. And folks within this group say they've never seen someone pass their initiation test in less than 10 seconds before. Card counting is about sharp math while under pressure. By keeping track of cards that have already been played, a skilled counter is able to identify when the odds are in their favor and then bet accordingly. But for multiple reasons, Daryl's talent has caught the eye of Ken Houston, a notorious counter who runs the group. Being young, unknown, talented, keen to prove himself, and desperate for money, he's the perfect recruit. When he first tells his friend Craig, a local shoemaker, he's skeptical. With mobsters running the early Vegas casinos, he thinks it's too dangerous. Being a member of Houston's team is more than just counting cards. Daryl is now part of a well-oiled machine. Each player on the team has a specific role, and he's the new spotter. His job is to sit at the blackjack table, play for small stakes, and keep the count. He'll be joined at the table by a second team member, a big player. They don't possess any card counting skills because their job is to behave like a complete amateur, an amateur that's willing to bet big. Using selection of hand signals, Daryl will be communicating with the second team member. A tug of the ear, a scratch of the nose, each gesture holding a secret meaning. When the odds are in their favor, Daryl will signal and the big player will stake bigger. You see, card counting is about tracking play to get a statistical advantage over the casino. Big cards are favorable to the player and small cards are favorable to the house. By watching the cards that have already been played, it's possible to create a numerical score known as the running count. For cards 2 through 6, you add 1, and for cards like 10, Jack, Queen, King and Ace, you subtract 1. If the total running count is positive, it means that there are more high-value cards left in the deck. If the count is negative, there are more low-value cards in the deck. Knowing the count is a big deal because you can then gauge how likely you are to win before placing your bet. To the untrained eye, the big player looks like another lucky newbie on a reckless betting spree, but in reality, every move was carefully calculated. But the best part? If the casino suspects something is up, attention is drawn to the big player and not Daryl. After just a few months, he's making more money than he could ever have dreamed possible, from totally broke to a brand new motorcycle, beautiful women, free-flowing drugs, and more cash than he can spend. He's living the American dream. The casinos, however, aren't so happy, and after a year of successful play, whispers about Ken Houston and his team are starting to circulate in all the wrong places, and after one evening of playing, casino security dragged Ken Houston into a Vegas back alley. He's punched out his cheek and his temple bones broken. The left side of his face requires plastic surgery. Doctors say that a total of 19 bones have been broken. It's a clear and brutal message from the mob. Being the 1970s, they know that they've got a vice-like grip on the city, and Daryl knows he's walking a tightrope. On one hand, he's making a fortune, but on the other, crossing the mob could mean far more than a kicking. Shortly after, things come to a head one day. When he's sat at the blackjack table, a member of casino security staff taps him on the shoulder. "Grab your chips and come with me." He's led into a back room where a couple of heavy-set goons are sat down. One of them is holding a pair of stainless steel pliers, the kind you might see in a dentist. "Wait here," says the casino security. It's a wake-up call that sets his heart racing. He can't help but wonder, what's gonna happen? And after what feels like forever, casino security returns. He's then ushered down a corridor into the casino boss's office. He's been on a hot streak with his chip stack growing by the minute. The casino boss slides a piece of paper across the table, the figure scribbled in bold ink. "That's what you're up right now," he says. "I'm gonna let you walk out of here with half, but let's get one thing straight. You're playing a dangerous game, kid. You might be smarter than the average Joe, but you're not smarter than the house, and you're definitely not smarter than the people who run this town." Daryl's blood runs cold. It's a wake-up call like no other. He's heard the stories about people who disappear into the desert, and he doesn't want to join them. But at the same time, he's making so much money. Sat in a taxi after leaving, he ponders his predicament. Deep down, if he quits, he knows he'll probably never make money like this ever again. He needs to find a way of staying in the game, but without being seen. It's 1977 now, and after pondering his issue, Daryl and Craig have an idea. With Daryl's card-counting knowledge and Craig's shoemaking ability, they plan to innovate their way out of their casino problem. They want to create a device that will allow anyone to track and count and place the perfect bet in any casino, all while staying hidden from prying eyes. The solution? These shoes. Sitting inside the shoe's hollowed-out heel block and sole, no bigger than a deck of cards, they insert a very small series of circuit boards and wires. 2 miniature switches are tactically placed above and below the toes. On the instep, they place a small buzzer, no bigger than the coin. The idea being, as cards are dealt, the person wearing them can accurately keep the count by tapping the up and down on the switches surrounding their toes. The miniature computer system hidden underneath their foot will then track the total running count. If the count is positive, the shoes will then communicate it via a buzzer on the shoes instead. A lithium battery pack strapped to the ankle will provide enough power to keep the system running over many hands. In theory, it's pure gold. No wires, no telltale bulges, nothing. They're slightly clunky to walk in, but on the outside, it's no big deal. And after weeks of testing in Craig's workshop, they work like a dream. Now they need to try them out in a live casino. Vegas is too hot though. It's not worth taking a risk on the trial run. They need somewhere off the beaten path, a safer place where they could potentially make a few mistakes without drawing much attention. So after much deliberation, they decide to target England. The casinos there are much smaller, security is lax, mobsters aren't running the show, and most importantly, card counting isn't massively popular just yet. The only question is, will the shoes work or will they get noticed? As his feet hit the British tarmac, Daryl is hit with a rush of adrenaline. Accompanied by his friend, they're about to put these shoes through the ultimate test. But shortly after arriving, there's an unexpected problem. At the time, UK casinos operate like a members club. You can't just play if you don't have a membership, and memberships take 48 hours to obtain, so they decide to use this time wisely by registering with multiple casinos. Checking into a nearby hotel, in the room, they finalize their plans for all the casinos that they'll hit next, prepare the backup batteries, and check the shoes are ready to go. 2 days later, in a whirlwind of anticipation and nerves, Daryl steps into the casino named Annabelle's. Sitting down at the first table, he can't help but wonder if he's in over his head. But then the toe tapping starts. 10. Tap up. 3. Tap down. Jack, tap up. A short, sharp buzz nips his left instep. The count is positive. The shoes are telling him that the deck is hot. Bet bigger. So he does. A few minutes later, a slow, long buzz tickles his right foot. It's a warning. Negative count. Minimum stakes. For the first hour, he's a little twitchy. He can't help but think about that Vegas goon with the pliers. Next, he ups the stakes to 200 or 500 pounds per hand. For 1977-7, this is high-stakes stuff. The shoes, it seems, are a massive success, but after he's up 10,000 pounds, they change the shuffle. It's time to quit for the evening, which means there's only one obstacle left, getting paid. They saunter up to the cashier's cage, but instead of a stack of crisp bills, they're met with a check. The cashier hasn't got that much cash to hand. Alternatively, they can come back in the morning and the money will be waiting. It's not ideal, but this casino isn't like Vegas, is a lot smaller, and at the time is a lot of money. The following day, they strap a new battery pack to Daryl's ankle and head to the casino. Their plan is to collect the 10,000 pounds and carry on playing some more if they're allowed. However, on arrival, the handshakes and smiles are gone. Instead, they're greeted with stern-faced police investigators. It's Daryl's worst nightmare. I mean, he's not even sure that the shoes are strictly legal. Worse still, he's got a battery pack strapped to his ankle and the shoes are on his feet. Immediately, the police split and his friend up. Fortunately, they've already prepared a cover story. The police continually say, "You're a professional gambler," but Daryl claims he runs a real estate business. After an hour of repetitive questioning, the police officer in charge has had enough. They're getting nowhere, and the pair haven't got any official documents on them. It's a battle of wheels that inevitably leads the investigation back to their hotel room. Once they arrive, Daryl and his friend Munchkin watch on in horror. Police tear through their belongings, empty drawers, flip mattresses, rifle through their rubbish, and even strip out Daryl's beloved guitar case. Heart pounding, the pair try not to look at the briefcase. Inside it, there are extra toe switches, a soldering iron, lithium batteries, and membership cards to dozens of casinos in London, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Germany. And then it happens. An officer opens it up. He looks inside. He begins to rummage around amongst the wires and batteries. He then looks directly at Daryl, and then he closes the case without saying a word. It takes a few minutes for the pair to realize. But this fool had no idea what he was looking at. With the shoes on Daryl's feet, it quickly becomes clear that this group of police officers don't even know what they're looking for. And so it would appear that the casino had just sore losers. They haven't actually seen any wrongdoing, and there isn't any evidence. They're free to go and collect their winnings. In the following years, Daryl was entered into the Blackjack Hall of Fame as he and his friends get thrown out and banned from casinos on 6 of the world's 7 continents. He returned to Vegas, lost weight, dyed his hair, wore contact lenses, grew facial hair, legally changed his name, and even had a mole removed so he could continue. Although eventually, the casinos changed their operating procedures to stop him, but not before Darryl and his friends managed to bank more than $1 million. A tiny slice compared to the brilliant mind in this next video. Check it out here.